got a new title on YouTube. Hello, hello. I'm not here for very long. We're gonna talk about this, we're gonna do the stream, and then I'm gonna go, because I got stuff to do this afternoon. Alright. Why am I down here? You're Phil. Phil doesn't call me Nepdubra. Let's change this. Whatever's going on with my camera right now. That's really interesting. Oops. Hello? Interesting. Something's gone wrong with this. Hang on. Hi. Hi, RJ. Nope. Not happening. Woo. Now, there we go. My camera was being funky, so I got rid of it. And we're back. Hello, everybody. What you got going on? Hi, Zilla. We're doing an analysis stream today, a quick one. I got two very cool clips coming up from PMGC, as you can see on screen. Yeah, I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a very good thing to talk about as well. I know a lot of people want to always know about this sort of stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, there's 6 of you in here now, so we might start in a second. Let me just finish my cornbread real quick. I kind of rushed, lunch because I've got to do things. I've got to help my mom stuff when I'm done with stream. So I had to prep stream real quick. Like, I had to get all these clips together and stuff. Rude, RJ. Why? So I have a light on it. It's not doing anything because it's fallen over again. These cheap lights, man. We're not going to talk about you offline gaming? No, we're not. Let's analyze that. No. No. I'm allowed to game outside of y'all. You know, I played the game before I was ever a content creator, so. Because I know send UC? I never send UC. I don't have UC. Okay. We're gonna get into this quickly here. Alright. What's the first one we got? Right. Why does the music sound like that? Okay. Last bit of cornbread. We're good. In other news, I'm changing the background. You might notice the displays are no longer there. Changing the background. Okay. Hi, Manx. I am back. Yes, we're about to do an analysis stream. We're gonna get right into it right away. So, let's set the scene here a little bit. We're gonna be talking about the... Hang on. Music sounds a little loud to me. I don't know if that's just in my own head, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that at least they're not on the same track so that when I have this VOD, we should be good to go. Let me just check my recording settings. Output, recording. Yeah, it goes to downloads. Okay. Yep, good. Okay, we're gonna start recording now. Apparently it's an eating stream, I know. I was rushing to finish my lunch. Okay, so the first game that we're going to be talking about here today is something that I've had actually in my my Notion in my database for a while to talk about, but there wasn't enough to make a full video on it, so it's in here. So we're going to be talking about Survival Stage Match 2, Day 1. So this first day of Survival Stage, we are going to be looking at MSJ, Mir and Sejong, Loops, and Zeus, I think. They're going to all be fighting over one teeny tiny little compound. That's the first fight of this clip that we're going to look at. So we're going to watch it, and then we're going to analyze it as we go, okay? So let's go ahead and play that now. You should be able to see this quite nicely. We can have a little bit of, yeah, that's working. I don't know why the music's sounding like that. Nice, thanks. Okay, so we're gonna be looking here. This is the one, Voin Donkey, that's the one, Voin Donkey and MSJ. So they're already fighting over this compound, and you're going to be seeing Loops just coming in here for the kill. So MSJ do end up getting this elim, this squad wipe. So actually getting 3 of those eliminations, which is kind of awesome. But now Loops comes in on this side, and immediately Molotov to the back, to the top. A 1-2 split through here gets through the top side, but this is kind of where you're looking at these angles and you're looking at where teams are moving in and out of. And this is this kind of stuff you really want to be watching. That's crazy, first of all. Boom. And again, it's all about those angles of where you're expecting these teams to be. Seoul is just an icon, but unfortunately does go out there, but it's a 7 elimination win or game for them, right? So let's just stop it, because that's the next fight there. Let's just stop it. Let's go back slightly. Can we actually play this in like half speed? Yes, we can. So we're going to play this in half speed, and we'll mute it because then the casters will sound funny. And as much fun as that would be, that is not the purpose of here. I said mute. There we go. So, immediately, what have we got here? Whoa, we got fire right here. That's what we got. Immediately, we have Neil coming around to the front and 2 on the outside. And Neil is going to go straight up those stairs because he can. You got Jaesuk in the corner in the other room. You've got Seo on the outside. Final is up top. And this is where they know they have to clear the top space so that they can deal with the bottom space. If you don't clear the top first, almost first at least, or if you ignore the top to favor, the teams outside and on the bottom, that's a direct angle that is going to be very, very easy to get taken out from. So your top thing is going to be going to that top floor, making sure you clear. And that's why you've got these Molotovs from everywhere, and you've got Neil coming up around with that gunpowder as well. So that's what you're going to see here. Final does go down, but then the thing is that, in a classic match, you're probably not going to get this, but in a PMGC match, MSJ are already pushing into the building to make sure they stop this in its tracks. And that's where you're getting that really, really quick trade of Ninho for Final, right? So both of those players are dead. They're going to go down. You can't save them, but you get that trade. Next, so now it's all of a sudden it's just down to a 2v2. Neil's still up there. Seo is low, and Jaesuk does end up going out here. Just gets that angle out through the window. He's a bit premature with jumping out the window there. Now Seo is going to be able to get this heal. Gives Vitoni some time, because Vitoni doesn't really know where he is, so he's just trying to nade anywhere, somewhere. This next bit is insane. Hello! Just a little bit too late there. So now Seo is inside, jumps right back outside and around. Here, Vitino has a good angle, right? If you look, he's got his sights right on the door. Boom. So if the door wasn't there, Seo would be very, very low right now. However, as it stands, he's not going to do it. Unfortunately, he did not expect Seo to jump forward like this. So the sight is nowhere near Seo, and this is how he's going to get this knock. Boom. Easy peasy. Right. That's just a little mix up in those angles. The fourth player of loops shows up eventually. There we go. And this is what I mean when you say you've got to clear the top first, right? Because Seo has done a tremendous job clearing the bottom and the outside. He's got that knock, he's got the elimination, he's got 2 more eliminations on his own. Or at least 1, he hasn't thirsted 1. There we go. Now the top comes in. The player up top just jumps out, whee, has the landing shot, boom, Seo is out. So that's why it's so important in fights like this where it's one compound or one building, clear the top. If you don't clear the top, what are you doing? You know, at least do it at the same time as everything else. You can't ignore the top. You can't clear the outside, then the inside, then the upstairs. You have to clear upstairs, outside, then inside. That's kind of how you should be doing it. And it's kind of what we saw here. They cleared the top, then the bottom, but MSJ didn't. Miran Sejong did not clear the top. Seo was more concerned with the teams right below him, which is fair. It makes sense, right? It's in a fight. But that's why Neil was able to get that frag onto him, because he was up top. So there's that. Hi, Panda! Welcome to the stream. Hello, 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 hello. Not a compound that's usually fought over. True. However, if we go back to the map, this is the map. There's Miran Sejong is MSJ in the yellow. There they are. So yeah, this compound was actually a really, really strong compound in this specific circle. Alrighty, any questions, anybody? Any questions at all before we move on to the next fight? We have 3 fights to talk about today. We've talked about 1. I've got another one in this clip, and then we've got a little bit of a longer clip coming up in the next one, and that's like the next game. Just gonna close some of my windows down here. Remember this, not gonna be a top. I'm gonna be a top kind of guy. You hear it first. I'm a top. Well, there you go then. There you go, Banks. Alright, well, if there's nothing else to be said here, we're going to move on to the next fight. And it's this one. And it's a little bit of this is a weird circle, because a lot of fights are happening all at once. So this is going to be a little bit chaotic. But it's BTR, it's Zeus, and then somebody steps in. I can't remember now. So, oh wait, we don't have to have this speed. Let's go back to 1 times speed. Let's bring it off of mute, and let's see what the boys have to say about this one. So BTR and Zeus. And immediately these nades come through, and it's like, who is this? Oh, look, it's Team Liquid. So Team Liquid moving in with those nades first is so important, because, and I'm going to stop this right now, ask yourself why these nades are so important. Why is it important that this team went into a third party with nades rather than going in themselves with gunfire. Why are there so many nades? There's two reasons for this. Number one is the nades mean that you don't have to have the info, right? So they're going to be throwing nades into 3 or 4 different windows, different crevices where teams are most likely going to be, or players are most likely going to be, but they don't need that info themselves to make sure that they don't die, right? So it's not like they have all the info and they're going to push with their own bodies, with their person, right? If they went in here as a full squad themselves without utilities, it might work. Sure, you can do that, but there's no info. They don't really know where anybody is, and it's likely that there is going to be somebody in a corner who, just evades their notice. With these nades, it means that they don't need that info to make the push. They get the best of both worlds because now they can follow up those nades with their guns, with themselves, and they're able to actually clean out half health players at least, right? The second reason for this is that this is breaking up the concentration between BTR and Zeus. And you might go, well, why would you want to do that? Because the whole point of a third party is to surprise them while they're in the middle of a fight and they're very focused. When you have a fight like this with all of these buildings and stuff, you don't know where that is coming from. So there's an element of, is that them? I don't think that's them. Is this somebody else? Is this a third party? There's a lot of thoughts going through. There's a lot of chaos because there's explosions and you don't know where the next one is, and it's a small compound, so there's not far to go, and so the explosion area is going to be in some ways bigger. So for them, this is a breaking up of that focus. It's a breaking up of that concentration between each other. And it's actually implementing a lot of chaos. It's implementing a lot of hesitation and kind of like, oh my God, a little bit of panic, right? So for those two reasons, that's why this is so nice from Team Liquid. Because this team is busy. They're chilling. They're already using nades. They get an elimination with a nade. But then all of a sudden, 2 nades back to back right there. Now we see 3 more cooking up. Alaya's got one. That's going to go right into this doorway there. There we go. Up the stairs, through the window, across the hallway. All of a sudden, that's like 6 nades all at once. And BTR like, what the heck is this? What's going on? This gives Zeus an opportunity to kind of heal up a little bit, sure. But still, BTR all of a sudden are dead as a doorknob. Just gone. You got 1 left. It's not going to be hard to get them because they followed up those nades with themselves immediately. They got those initial knocks and they went, yes please, we'll be having that. And all of a sudden, there's nothing that BTR can do here. Nothing. So this is a different fight. Whoopsie daisy, I've messed up. Okay. Go forward. We're going back, and we only go back to see them clean up Zeus, because it's easy. They know exactly where they are. They're in that tiny little room. There's only 2 of them, and then you have 3 of them come through. So that is an insane use of nades. It's really, really, really nice. And they can push enemies out of hiding. Exactly. And the way that the nades work is that you want to get away from them, therefore showing footsteps, or at least hearing footsteps. You're giving that information by evading the nade. So not only does the nade not need information, it actually gives you information if you're close enough, that sort of thing. So yeah, great point, Megs. It's that as well. Reason number 3 to actually, use those nades first. But that is a masterclass of how to use nades in a push like that to just dramatically change things up. I mean, this is slightly insane. Let's just go back and watch it again because it's crazy. All of a sudden, you go from this fight happening, which is hard enough as of itself. I mean, if you're Zeus, it's like, yikes. Well, let's count the nades here, though. All of a sudden, 1, 2, immediately there. 3 from Alaya. There we go. 4 coming up the hallway. 5. 2 more cooking up. That's 6. 7. 7 nades. They follow up 7 grenades with themselves immediately, and all of a sudden, it's just a solo left, and all of a sudden, it's just the duo of Zeus, who really have nothing to do with this anyway, right? So very, 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 very good there. I mean, Satarlos might have just missed all his shots, to be honest, but still an excellent, excellent play there. And I think it's very important for you guys to know this and watch this and learn, because that is what you want to do. If you find a third party in a small contained area like this, I'm not saying go up to another hill where there's a third party and do this, because it's not going to work. This is for Severny, this is for Yasnaya, this is for these small buildings in a tight space that you can work with like this, that nades will bounce off of and that you can push quickly without really being seen yourself. So very, very good here. Is there anything people would like to say about this one before we move on to the third? Because I am open to questions here. If you have questions or points to make, then let's hear them, and we'll discuss before we move on to the final point of the stream. Like I said, I am kind of speed running this a little bit. Not too much, but you know, if we can get this in 30 minutes, that'd be kind of cool. We're currently at 15, so it doesn't matter. But it would be nice to get this on the move. I don't think so, Manx. Which is cool. We can move on to the next one. It means they've understood. You know? Alrighty then. Oop, wait. No, because this is going on YouTube afterwards, so we need to make sure that my hair is in the right position. Okay. Let's move to... Do pro teams prefer nades over mollies? You tend to see that, yes. Oops, that's paint. Don't look at me. You do tend to see that. It's kind of 50-50, except it's not. It's probably more like 70-30 in favor of nades, I think. Yeah. Just because of their explosiveness, the fact that you can cook them and so you can time them a little bit better. I tend to prefer Molotovs simply because of the spread and that they're silent. Once a Molotov is there, it hits and it's up and you have no way to escape that. The other thing with nades is that nades bounce. Molotovs do not, so you have to be very precise with your Molotovs. With nades, you can kind of just chuck them, and as long as you chuck them accurately, semi-accurately, they'll do their job. So nades are a little easier to use, I think, and a little bit more damaging. As Jude says, both physical and psychological damage. It's very true. Nades tend to be the silent killer. Molotovs tend to be the silent killer. Nades are when you want to create a little bit of panic. Hi, Roman. Awesome drawing. Thank you. I was testing to make sure paint was visible on stream, because I still don't have coach's eye. So, okay, let's get into the next match here. And this is going to be initially between 4MV, D plus Kia, and Dajasan 77. Now, we're going to continue this game afterwards. This is a 5-minute clip. We're not going to watch all of it, but we are going to skip to the end, because this is where Major Pride then take their entire, the win, like just massively win. And we got a couple of things to say about this. So let's go ahead and watch. There we go. I like a Molotov, and multiple mollies can create all kinds of hazards. It's very true. I love a good molly. So, D plus Kia already in a world of hurt over here. And 4MV are like, yeah, it's fine. We can clean them up. You see the map there. Major Pride over in Mansion. 4MV 77 over in Heaven area. So that's going to be D plus Kia taken out fairly quickly here. I mean, Fabian with a really, really good off angle, just keeping his team alive to the very last second. And that's doing some really good work in getting rid of a lot of 4MV, right? Because look, there's Docs and everybody. So Shifu ends up taking Doc. And D plus Kia is still up as a solo. Rifu's trying, but nope. There we go. Fabian is going to go down. That's a very basic sort of fight happening there. 3-1 split, the off angle, trying to do it, pushing up to try and save the teammate, trying to pick up on all those eliminations, is not able to do it. That's very basic, right? That's what we see a lot. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because now 4 and V are out of the picture. We have 3 teams. And STE are right behind Dagestan. Dagestan have held on to this compound a lot, a very long time. But this is not really the fight that I really want to see. The fight that I really want to see, as Major Pride go all over in a hovercraft, that was half their thing. The entire PMGC they were in a hovercraft, which was really funny. But we're going to start it right about here. So keep in mind, Major Pride have a player out there. So this is a very huge 1v3 split. And I think we see the hovercraft come into play a lot more when you'll see that Major Pride actually use it and are on the same side as their off angle. Remember what I've talked about before with anchor points, right? In that an anchor point is where, so for instance, Krita would be the anchor point in this situation. Would he? I think no. I'm going to say Sanchir is going to be, for STE, is going to be the anchor point here. Because you have, and then everybody else moves around that anchor point. It's the same with Major Pride. They have, I don't know which player it is, but one way across zone, in the open, in the middle, out there. That's their anchor point, because now Major Pride are using him as a guide of where they need to be going. And you see, they never cross over that ridge out of the sightline of the anchor point. The anchor point's there to give cover. So, when you see Major Pride moving around, they're trying to bait those headshots. They're trying to bait those players into showing themselves, and so that their anchor point can shoot them. There he is. It's Becca out there. Well, there's 2 of them, so it was a 2-2 split that they did. I thought Becca died earlier, but he didn't. So it's Eliminatrix and Becca out in the outside. So both of these are like a 2-2 split. It's a really nice setup, particularly when you have zone. So later on, AZ, I mean, you see them just using that, trying to find any information they can. Again, this is where the bait is coming out, right? They're shooting that hovercraft. There should be shots being returned there by his teammates. AZ's moving into position, and this is where the zone has gone to Major Pride, so they're like, we could do something with this. We could really do something with this. STE still trying, and this is where they're going to start using this as an opportunity to go ahead and get rid of Dagestan. So, I mean, Blank is right. It is going to be a Major Pride win, and it should be as well, because the zone's gone their way. They've got a really nice little setup going on where they can cover a lot of angles. And so STE have no choice but to push this, because if they try and do an off angle, it's not going to go well. So here we go, but this is where the miscommunication comes into play. STE is molotoving their own teammates, and at 77 go out very, very quickly, but these nades and everything are their own, except for now, because now Major Pride coming in with all of these, and this is what I want to talk about, this bit. Look at the setup here. They have 3 players on the front lines now. The 4th one's on its way. If you look at the minimap, he's on his way. And you'll see how he enters. There's Becca. I mean, hello? This is iconic gameplay behavior. Fearless he cannot do a single thing. Down he goes. He's on fire. The next player is trying, but he's 1 HP. Goes around to the outside, but there's a full squad there now. It's a 4v1, and a very, very easy one at that. And I'm sorry, this is insane. This is crazy. Because the coordination, he meant to do that. And that's really, again, you talk about the mindset and playing mind games with your enemies. This is crazy. This enough is really overwhelming, right? This is really intimidating because you've got a hovercraft coming in. You've got nades being about to be thrown here. But still, it is outside versus compound, and SDE have the compound. So as long as they get that player back up, they are still fairly confident in this, right? Even though the push is really, really good, it's still an outside versus inside thing. The minute that you hear, I mean, put yourself in these guys' shoes. Put yourself in Fearless's shoes. He's already trying to outnade the rest of Major Pride. Then all of a sudden, you hear a car. You hear it, and you're like, where's that going? I hear it coming up. Another one. Wait, why is it coming up over the top of us? Then all of a sudden, you hear footsteps on the roof. Meanwhile, the hovercraft is coming through. There's two on the outside. Nade's coming through the roof now, because why not? And it's just game over from there. It's game over. And that's what's so cool about this fight. Again, looking at those angles and looking at the mentality that you're using, they would have won this fight. They still would have won this. But then Becca comes in with a little bit of noise, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of confusion, immediately backs up his team. He gets out with a nade. Like, he has a UMP upon landing and then immediately switches to a nade because he is ready. There he goes. Nade. Nade thrown. UMP in hand. Immediately backing up his team. It's not this reaction time of, oh, thank goodness I've made it. Right? Let's see. Land. Nade. It's really quick. I know most of us would have gone land. Nade. Where are they? Wait, I misclicked. Where are they? There's none of that. There's none of that. Land. Nade. Instantly. Thrown. UMP. Looking down. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. It's done. Done and dusted. So a very, very good game from them. Good morning, Green. Yes, it is true, Roman, isn't it? Yeah, again, all those nades. That's the thing. So today's stream has been about close range fights and like angles and that sort of thing. However, it's all about when you don't have that information and when you are trying to third party, which all of these fights have kind of been a third party. It's using your nades, it's using chaos, it's playing mind games with your team. Enemy team, not your team, enemy team. Teamwork, like super communication, super good reaction times, always on the ball, and then you're able to do other things with it, with those little angles and stuff. So it's a very, very good show of skill here in all three of these plays. There we go. How are you today, Green? How have you been? You can't see how many players are inside a hovercraft. That is true. And they are slow, but I think they worked out in their favor for them in this time because the hovercraft is a big, big vehicle, and that can be very intimidating. Good morning, Peace. Welcome to the stream. We just finished up, unless somebody has some questions for us here for this last fight. Welcome to Ask Away. But if there's no more questions, that's it from me. We have no more clips to be seen. If you missed the stream, go back in the stream. It'll be here in a second, or just don't hit the live button, go back and scroll all the way back. You're welcome to do so. But really, really good. PMGC, I think this is probably going to be my last video on PMGC. There's a video coming out today. I have a long-form video coming out this afternoon. And then you'll see the videos from this stream come out. And then I think after that, I think we're done with PMGC. We're starting to get into the new season now. We've got PMGO to look forward to. PEL starts next month. So I think we're going to have a lot of new content with the new season. So this is the last stream of PMGC. RIP. Oh, Manx, that's an awful joke. That's just bad. I'm sorry. It's bad. Mm. Use the French baker, yeah. Bad. First time I heard have a crack. It's weird, right? It sounds like grass. It sounds almost like a mower, like a munching grass, you know? Very weird. It's a weird sound effect. Ow, ow. Burnt my hands on my heater. So, alrighty, well, if there is nothing here, I'm gonna call it there, folks. I appreciate y'all hanging out here and maybe learning. I hope you've learned something. I think it was a really cool session. This was a really fun one, eye-opening. Are there any players that use AKM as main short-range weapon? That's not the meta at the moment. I think because you've got the Scar, which has more damage for your stability ratio. AKM does a lot more damage, sure, but the stability on it is not as good. I think you'll still see people use other 7.62 weapons. I think they'll use other ones, but I'm not sure the AK is in favor right now. I think you're probably more likely to see an ace at this point than an AKM, but I think probably some still use them. I don't know of any specific ones, but I'm sure some still do use them. Oh, pain au chocolat. Oh, that sounds nice, Panda. That sounds so nice. Nades equals panic chaos. It's true. It's true. Nades are good. Nades are very good. All right. I'm gonna end it here, folks. I do have to skedaddle, so I'm not gonna stay in chat. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing a gaming stream, so that's gonna be fun. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon with that, so stay tuned. We're gonna have some fun on the mode and also ultimate. We're gonna be doing some ultimate tomorrow as well. So cool. Sounds good. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. I appreciate y'all. We will be back, like I said, tomorrow. Stay tuned for tonight's video, which is all about the fight between RCB, Team Spirit, and Team Falcons. That's going to be the hill angles and the different types of angles that the hill affords. So we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of the uphill angle, the downhill angle, and the across the hill angle as well. So definitely one you want to check out when it comes out at 4:45 CET. That's PM, late this afternoon. Cool. Yeah, Satoru, these generally tend to be very short streams. We've been here 44 minutes. That's generally how long they are. Unless we get 20 people in chat and they all want to have all these questions, we're not going to be here very long. You know? 1 or 2 questions, it takes like 5 minutes. So, okay. I'm gonna go. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the video later tonight. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!